All right, I'm going to start a new class here, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a program that will compare characters. So we'll alpha, I'm going to call this alpha. So I have a new class called alpha, and we're going to input, so the fact that we're going to get input from the user, we need to use java.util_scanner. And I am going to put my description up here just to keep my code good. So the class is CIS 150. It is the web version, and it's with Professor Thompson. I am Jeffrey Thompson, and this is 10/13/2024, and a program to alphabetize user input. So we're going to start with the basic of alphabetizing. The user is going to need to enter 2 characters. Now, again, because entering characters from a user, there is no native way to pull a single character. I'm going to have to use the string class to input a string, and then we're going to grab the first character from it. So we'll have, initialize our variables. So we'll have letter 1 will be a char. Letter 1 and letter 2. Variables for 2 characters. And we'll need a scanner object. Again, we're going to attach it to the keyboard, which is the system in, and we'll use that to get user input. So I will want to get the user input. So we'll enter a letter. And now comes our fun part. We're going to have to cast a letter into an individual character. So it's going to be input.next, which will get a string. But we need to convert this string into an individual character. And if we looked at our sandbox, we can get the text, the string text, and we grab the character at position 0, or which is the first character. So, whoops, I hit the wrong button here. Come back to my alpha and zero. So I'm getting a string, and I'm grabbing the first character from the string and putting it into letter 1. And we enter another letter. Letter 2 equals input.next, and we'll get the character at position 0. And we'll look at these string methods in more detail. And now what I want to do is I want to run a series of tests. So first I want to make sure if character is letter, and we'll do letter 1, and character dot is letter 2. So we're making a structure to see if we have characters, letters, for our first two characters. If not, so do the not, else system.out.println, please enter 2 letters. So a warning message to our user. So I have a check to see. And we'll say check for valid input. We'll do a check for valid input. Now, if we do have valid input, what we want to do is we want to see which is alphabetically greater than the other. So we'll do if character dot, oops, if I can spell today, dot 2 lowercase letter 1 is less than or equal to character to lowercase letter 2. System.out.println, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a space for the character here. And using a, whoops, I should use a printf. And we'll give it a new line. And so letter 1 came before letter 2. Otherwise, I'm going to copy this line because it's going to be the same thing, except letter 2 comes before letter 1. And so now I've used some character comparisons. Come down here and input.close and close out my inputs. So I've created a thing to check for alphabetization. So first I'm going to enter a non-character, and it says please enter 2 letters because I didn't. I'll try again. I'll do capital A and C, and A comes before C. Notice it didn't matter on the case. If I enter it the other way, C and B, B comes before C. Now, if I enter the exact same, I get B comes before B. So I have a beginnings of some rough logic on how we can compare characters, and we're going to see that these comparisons get built into the string class object, which we talk about in our next lectures as we look at string objects. So a quick way of using these character classes and forcing us to do comparisons on if they're all upper or lower. I tend to like to force things to lowercase. I mean, we could force it to uppercase if need be. I don't know. That seems shouty.